It was a Monday. I just signed up for gym launch on Saturday and I was attending my very first daily call. The last 2 days were a blur of information and walkthrough videos. I hopped on a GoToMeeting 5 minutes before noon and there was nobody on there. And so a few minutes later, a gal named Monica hopped on. She was a Canadian gym owner and she was brand new to gym launch as well. And so we chatted momentarily till all the sales guys started to get on this call. And the call abruptly started once Alex, he got on. And so Alex's first statement when he got on the call, tell me your numbers. And then I was like, numbers? Like, what numbers is he talking about? And so sales guy rattled off 5 specific numbers. And so those 5 numbers were how much ad spend, how many leads did you get, how many of those appointments did you schedule, how many of those appointments did you show up, and how many of those appointments that showed up did you close? And then armed with these numbers, Alex started spitting off advice. And it was really cool to see him be able to pinpoint someone's problem based on understanding how those 5 numbers work together. And so that daily call from my very first time, it evolved tremendously from having sales guys on there replaced with gym owners. And so I kind of came in right in this transition point where he ended up teaching us gym owners how to actually do this rather than hiring salespeople himself. And so 8 months into gym launch, I had the opportunity to take over the daily call from Alex. And I can tell you this, the most successful gym owners who were in that program, they knew their numbers. And the ones who didn't know their numbers, they're the ones who struggled because they were always asking emotional questions and wanting emotional answers. But it was the data that helped to separate the feelings from the actual decisions that needed to be made. And so in Alex's mission to help gym owners, the business intelligence sheet, it was birthed. And so the business intelligence sheet was able to tell the story of a business, but only with numbers, not with any adjectives, not with any nouns, not with any emotions, just based on numbers. And so me and thousands of other gym owners, we use the business intelligence sheet to stack cash, which was the motto in gym launch. And so when we started our cleaning business, one of the very first assets that we created was a custom cleaning business intelligence sheet. And so the cleaning business intelligence sheet is what tells the story of building our $1 million cleaning business. Here's what it looks like from a visual standpoint. And so as we break it down here, at the very top of this is sales. Okay, so there's a sales section in the business intelligence sheet. And so inside the intelligence sheet, you'll see some of these numbers are very familiar to what we tracked in the fitness business, right? Because ultimately, regardless of what business you're in, cleaning or fitness or any other business, like these numbers always tell a story. And so the first number that we always track is ad spend. Ad spend could be on Facebook, it could be on Google. So wherever you're spending money, all this ad spend gets put into one spot. And then from there, how many leads did you get? So these leads are coming in through your funnel, they're coming in through phone calls. Every single lead needs to be tracked. And then after that, we have scheduled calls. And then after we have scheduled calls, we have completed calls. So you'll notice a difference there. If you are new to a funnel like this, just because someone schedules doesn't mean they're going to show up. And so depending on what business you're in, like that show rate could be higher or it could be lower. So in this case, we do calls. And so our show rates are actually really high. And we have booked appointments, right? So these are our closes. So the people who get off the phone call and book an appointment with us, those are considered our closes. And then the next thing that we track, and the reason why I love the cleaning business so much is that it's a recurring business model, right? Once you sign somebody up for their first appointment, the whole goal is to get them into recurring, get them back on the calendar again every week or every 2 weeks, or worst case, every month. And so we also track how many of these clients that we booked converted into a reoccurring client. What's our cost per lead? It automatically calculates our booking percentage and automatically calculates our conversion into client percentage. And so a couple other cool numbers that are also automatically calculated for us as well are our cost to acquire a customer, our profit per new customer, and our commission to our salesperson. And so cost to acquire a customer, what does that mean and why is it important? So the cost to acquire a customer, it lets you know based on your marketing and based on your sales commissions, like how much does it actually cost you for a customer to come in? And once you know that number, it gives you a really good idea of how much you actually can pay to acquire a customer. And so most people are like, oh my gosh, it cost me $100 to acquire a customer. Okay, well, that number is important when you understand, well, how much does each customer make you, right? What is the lifetime value of your customers, which we'll talk about here in a second. Because ultimately, people will say, well, my cost per acquisition is really high, but ultimately what truly matters is, well, how much does that customer end up paying you over the lifetime of them being in your business? And if you can play the long game, which again, business is always a long game, then you start to realize that, oh my gosh, you're making a ton of money if you're paying $100 to acquire a customer, but the lifetime value of the customer is $1,000, you're making 10 to 1. So while the cost to acquire a customer only takes into account for your marketing and sales funnels, the profit per new customer takes into account for also the fulfillment of it as well. So specifically in the cleaning business, you have your highest cost is actually going to be what you pay your cleaners. And so when we put the marketing and the commission to salespeople in there, and we also put in the what we actually pay the cleaner on the very first clean, then we actually get our profit per new customer. And what you'll notice is that in our business, we're actually negative when we acquire customers. We're negative like $35. And so if you look at it just from that standpoint, like, oh my gosh, like I'm losing money every single time I acquire a customer, like this isn't going to make sense unless you are able to convert that into a long-term client. And again, that's where you must know, but it's important to track these numbers so you just have a good idea of exactly where your business is at. And so you can either try to pull different levers to either bring that cost per customer down or increase your profit per new customer. And then of course, we want to know our commissions to our salespeople as well. The next section of the cleaning business intelligence sheet is the fulfillment section. So this is really cool because you're able to see a breakdown of each type of clean that we do. And so anytime somebody says, well, how many short-term rental cleans are you doing? Or is your business more new cleans or is maintenance cleans? And we track every single clean that we have, and it gets categorized. So the 5 type of cleans that we do is we do like a maintenance clean, which is somebody who is on a recurring cleaning cycle. We have a new client clean. So that's a new client. So that's someone who comes in new, and it'll be like a deep clean. We also have move out cleans. So people who are moving out of homes, construction cleans, short-term rental turnover cleans. We also have correction cleans on here. So correction cleans are if a cleaner goes to a home and for some reason the job that they do and when the client expectations are off, sometimes they have to go back and they got to fix it. Another thing that is on the fulfillment too is client complaints. So anytime a client complains, they get put on here. We also have our canceled recurring clients. We also track job ticket hours. And so job ticket hours is actually how we bill. And it allows us to get a good idea of whether our business is growing or not based on how many hours our cleaners are getting. Attrition rate is like one of the most important numbers that almost no business owner knows how to track or does track. But if you're in a recurring business model, it's pretty much the lifeblood of your business, whether it grows or not. And so based on your attrition rate, it is going to dictate whether your business is going to grow really fast, or it's going to feel like every single time that you sign somebody up, we have another person that leaves out the back door. And so this business intelligence sheet, it automatically tracks your attrition rate by, again, just plugging in all these numbers up here. And next section of your business intelligence sheet is the money section. So again, a really important section is like, what's your gross profit? What's your gross profit percentage? What's net profit percentage? So again, the reason why you want to differentiate these two is because your biggest expense is going to be in your cleaners. And so when you're able to see your gross profit versus your net profit, you're going to see there's a big difference in those two things because one takes an account for just your cleaners, but it doesn't take an account for all the other expenses you have in your business, like softwares, like your rent, basically everything outside of your employee expenses that gets calculated under your net profit. You want to make sure that your gross profit is about 55%, which gives you enough net profit that you should be able to keep about 25 to 30% net profit in your business. Yeah, so you have your revenue expenses. We also have outstanding collections and payroll in there as well. So when we see that outstanding collections number that's high, it means we need to get in there. We need to start making some more phone calls and start doing some billing and get on the phones and make sure people start paying their invoices. Next section of the cleaning business intelligence sheet is cleaning technicians. So when you're dealing with a team of cleaning technicians, these are the data that we track. And so it's SparkleBoss callouts. So a callout is when SparkleBoss, which is our cleaning technicians, they say they call in sick or they say they can't make it on the day of a clean. Another thing we track is actually how many leads we get. So when we're always advertising for new cleaning technicians, how many interviews did we get scheduled, how many interviews were completed, and how many people did we actually hire. So again, you'll see it's very similar to our marketing for a client funnel, but we're also using the same numbers for cleaning technicians as well. And then the last thing that we're tracking, so we're putting the clients in there so we know exactly who got a correction clean, who's got discounted cleans. We put in names of new clients, so people who converted from just their first time cleaning into a recurring cleaning, they become a recurring client. We put clients who are brand new, and then we also put anybody who canceled the recurring appointments as well. The last section of the business intelligence sheet, this basically shows our monthly numbers. So this gets calculated at the end of every single month, and it shows us our reoccurring clients here. It shows us how many clients we've served to date, and it shows us our revenue all time. And it also shows us the lifetime value of our clients as well. Lifetime gross profit and theoretical monthly max. And so the reason why these numbers are super important is because, again, when you understand your lifetime value of your customer, then all of a sudden you take that number and you say, okay, like in our situation, our lifetime value of our customer is about $1,000. And so we know that if we're paying $100 to acquire a customer and we're losing $35 per customer on average, as long as we know our lifetime value, that person will stay with us for at least $1,000 worth of cleans, then it makes sense for us to continue to market because we're still making money in the long run. Or having this data and having all these formulas help you predict what your cleaning business is going to do based on the numbers. And so we can predict what our theoretical monthly max is going to be based on how many customers we're bringing in versus our attrition rate versus our average cost per clean. And as you can kind of see those numbers month after month, you can get a pretty good idea of where you're going to be as long as you continue to acquire this many customers, as long as your attrition rate stays consistent, and as long as your average revenue per clean again stays the same or goes up. People always wonder like, hey, no, it's gonna gross over $100,000 at the end of the year. I was like, I just see the numbers. Like all the data keeps pointing to it, and as long as the data keeps trending in the right direction, then it's just a matter of time, right? Another thing we do on the recurring clients as well is we actually track how many clients are weekly, bi-weekly, every 4 weeks. We have a couple clients that are like every 2 to 3 months. Yeah, then the lifetime gross profit number is gonna be based on the total revenue all time versus what our net profit percentage is. And so again, that's how you're able to see like how much you're actually gonna gross long-term, or how much you're going to gross profit long-term. Yo, are you a cleaning business owner who's looking to build a big old business? Well, I have just the resource for you. See, I did a free masterclass where I shared automated marketing funnels, I shared customized sales system, I shared a recruiter funnel, and I shared the business intelligence sheet you saw in this video. So if you want access to those all 100% for free, and you want to build your cleaning business to a big old cleaning business, well then click the link down below, create your free account, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Let's go.